Welcome to our second session of Mindful Steps. This one's going to be on joy, so I think it'll be pretty fun. But we're going to start our normal way. So we're trying to give you guys a back pocket sequence that like we'll do it so many times that you'll be like, oh, I'm stressed out. What should I do? Oh yeah, that sequence. So we're gonna start with that. Yeah, let's just go.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm Nicole. So we will start today with the 5-point check. So I hope that you had chance this week to practice that, and always check our website page and join us so that every day we have information for you and articles to read and so on and so forth. So with the 5-point check, where it's an assessment of how you are doing right now. So please have your feet on the floor. Good. And sit with a nice tall spine. Open chest, shoulders relaxed down. Good. And have your eyes relaxed. Good. I can actually see it. So in the 5-point check, we check in with the different dimensions of our being and see how we're doing so that we can make changes when necessary or transformation. So now be aware of your breath. Connect with the act of breathing. And now feel the whole of your body. Tune into the internal space of your mind and see what's happening there, whether the mind is present or scattered. Now be aware of your emotional self. Is there an emotion that kind of circulating within you? And lastly, notice, and that's an important one, notice your energy level. So breath, body, mind, emotions, and energy too.
Be me. No, just kidding. That's the acronym. So compassion and intention, this literally, you can almost count to 10. Just setting and connecting with an intention to benefit yourself and others through the practice today and beyond. And now moving on to the mindful minute. Oh, no.
Sorry, I feel all wired. So last week we practiced the sun salute. The sun salute is on our Facebook page, and Anthony has already sent you the link. So it's easy to memorize. So over a period of time, you still have many weeks to learn this and practice it. So let's start and breathe slowly in and out of, excuse me, breathe slowly in and out of your nose as we practice. So we're going to start with feet touching the ground, feel grounded, that's important. And feel your spine nice and tall, be aware of the natural curves of the spine, and open the arms to the side. Breathe slowly in and out of your nose, and with the arms open, bring the hands together in the front of your chest, touch your thumbs to your heart. Good. Now take the hands in front of you, hook your thumbs, scoop the hands up all the way up. Look up if you don't have neck issues, and now place your hands where your thumbs are in the crease of the hips and hinge forward. Hands are either on knees, shins, ankles, or floor. Then come up on your tippy fingers, lift and open the lungs and the heart forward, and then fold again. Now coming up halfway, right hand on right knee, left hand on left knee, and come all the way back to center. From here, bring your right knee into your chest with your hand either underneath or over your shin. And from here, bring your knee into your chest and now press it away from you until your arms are straight. Arc your back and look up to the ceiling. And now from here, as you come back, round your back and bring your nose or your forehead toward your knee, and you don't have to touch it. And then bring your knee all the way down to the floor, and it's switched to the left side. Good. Press your knee away from the body. Nice open chest, arcing the back, looking up. And then come back and forehead to knee. Good. And now come back all the way down, and from here, cobra. Take the hands behind you, squeeze the shoulder blades, slide the shoulder blades down towards the waist, and again, look up to the sky. Make sure that your nose is we're not pointing the tip of your nose to the ceiling, just the bridge of the nose. This will help with to not hyperextend your neck. Good. And then from here, coming all the way back to center. Forelimb stretch. Come forward on your chair. Hold on. And open the chest. So we roll the shoulders back and now bring your feet and your legs together. Bring your legs up and flex your feet. Great. You're using your core a little bit here, right? Whoa, look at you. And now as you bend the knees, bring the heels down to the floor. Hinge a little bit from the hips. Take the arms up, palms in front of you, downward dog. So that the upper arms are close to the ears. Good. And then from here, slowly come all the way back down. And now we go into twist. So either the feet are together and the legs are together on the floor, or cross your right leg over your left. Place your left hand to the outside of your right knee, right hand behind you. Lengthen out of the waist. And here, start to lead with 1, belly button, 2, chest, then shoulder. Keep your chin parallel to the floor and your neck loose. Breathe slowly in and out of your nose, and then slowly come back. And then coming back to center, we do left side. So from left side, lengthening out of the waist, spine tall. And again, we lead belly button, chest, and to the left. Take one more breath. And then from here, slowly come back. Good. And from here, as we come back, we do forward fold again. So taking the arms up, take your thumbs in the crease of the hips, open the legs, hinge from the hips, nice flat back, release wherever you can, and relax your head and neck. Come up on your tippy fingers. Open your heart forward in front of you, and then release all the way down. Come up halfway, take your right hand on your right knee, left hand on your left knee, and coming back up. Open the arms all the way out, and then bring the hands together. From here, curl your thumbs, sweep the arms up, and then from here, once you're up, bring the palms together, bring them in, touch your heart with your thumb. Take a nice soft breath in and out, bring your hands on your lap. Thank you.
And now we're going to do a 1-minute meditation where you'll hear my voice at the beginning, and then we'll be silent for about 50 seconds. So I just want you to close your eyes if that's comfortable, or a fuzzy gaze down. Don't have to lower the head, just the eyes, whichever is more comfortable. And we're going to focus on the breath. I'm going to begin with the sound of the bells, and that's a signal for you to go inward. So go ahead and close your eyes or a fuzzy gaze down, and we'll sound the bells, and then we'll be silent and focusing on our breath. Just relax into your breath, letting everything go for this next 45 seconds. Now slowly bringing your awareness back to this room. Open your eyes and notice how you're feeling. Now, Nicole.
Mhm. Can you all hear me okay? Yeah. Okay. So we will practice what is called the breath of joy. So that's one quick way to bring joy into your life. You can do this at work because we'll do it on the chair. And then in a little while, we'll do it standing. So you have two choices. That again, we have a link to Facebook and there's a video that shows you how to do this. Okay. So the breath of joy is really simple. And the reason for that is that it also increases your level of energy. So when you did the 5-point check, if you found your energy was a little low, kind of the mid-morning, Monday morning thing, then breath of joy can really enliven you. So the breath is done like this. I'm going to demo, then we'll do it together. I'm going to bring my arms in front of me, then out to the side, and then up. And then when I exhale, I bring the hands all the way down. So the breathing, how the breathing goes with this. So you inhale approximately a third of your breath in front, which corresponds to the lower lungs, and then out to the side corresponding to mid lungs, and then up corresponding to upper lungs. Now, you're not stopping the breath at each of those points. It's one smooth breath like this. I'm inhaling, I keep inhaling, and then exhale. Ha! So it's kind of nice to do the ha because I feel like it releases your yayas. You know, that excess stress that you have. So let's go ahead and do this together. And again, at this point, you're probably following my breath length. And then when you're on your own, do whatever. All right. So let's inhale, 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 and ha. Come back. Inhale, 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 ha. Inhale, 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 and ha. And one more. If you've always dreamt of orchestrating, ha, and then you're back. And then just feel for a moment what that felt like, because just that, see, people are smiling. It brings a little joy. It's kind of nice. So, Julie. Yes, you are next.
Yes, I will. I just have to do this first. Let's, can I get this to like pop out? Okay, so we're going to talk about the reward system. And before I start with the science, I wanted to mention this a little poetry by William Blake. He who binds himself to a joy does the winged life destroy, but he who kisses the joy as it flies lives in eternity's sunrise. So joy is funky because if you hold on to it too tightly, it could be deleterious. But if you just like remain like almost stoic and never enjoy in the pleasures and pure joy of living, then what, you know what, that's kind of sad. And sometimes that can happen with mindfulness. That's one of the adverse effects that some people misunderstand and think they just have to like passively observe themselves enjoying a flower or something. No, live it. But you know, this should be fun. You know, life should be, you know, we should revel in the joys of our life. So what I wanted to talk about is how complex the brain's reward and punishment systems are, because if we understand it just even a little bit, we can hack it. And as you can see, there's a ton of different regions. Don't worry, we're not going to get into those. But what you can clearly see is that when you look at the mouse and you look at a human brain, the deeper brain and midbrain structures are basically the same. Our like giant cortex is riding above a very ancient brain. And sometimes people call that the lizard brain or reptile brain or something strange like that, because it is remarkably preserved across species. But our prefrontal cortex gives us an out. We can become the masters of our own reward system. It's as if we've built like a little addition onto the house, but this addition becomes one of the most important parts of the house. But we need the kind of lower reward system to be working in our favor. It's almost like a mathematical equation. Don't worry, we won't get into it, but whether the reward comes sooner or later, or whether there's like a little bit of bad to endure to get the reward, there's all sorts of calculations that our brain is constantly trying to do. So
Julie.
Yeah, you can't hear me?
Yeah, well, no, we can hear you. We can't
I
see
didn't
your.
share the screen. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm going to share. Part of me was getting up a link. I'm sorry. I'm going to go right for that link though. So I was going to do switch links anyway at this point, so it's a good time. So you may or may not be able to hear this. Oh. Okay, so this is a brain surgery that was done at the Rockefeller Neuroscience Institute, just right part of ours. So this is us, but this was featured on NBC Nightline. And it's extremely relevant to what we're talking about today because it involves the exact same brain regions, except they're sticking electrodes in them. I can't get it.
University Rockefeller Neuroscience Institute, James was about to be the third person in America to have an experimental brain surgery that doctors hope could be the key to overcoming his substance abuse. I mean, I'm getting old to open my brain. Like, it's scary. Why are you willing to do that? Because I don't want to die. So that's James. That's great. Dr. Ali Razai and his team mapped James's brain to find the exact paths to implant 2 wires carrying brain-stimulating electrodes. So if you're off by a millimeter, you're in the wrong spot. A kind of brain pacemaker implanted in the chest sends electrical impulses to the reward center deep in
That's
the
the
brain.
nucleus accumbens.
Sensitized, this reward center brain. So you keep on wanting to experience that initial feeling to feel good from the dopamine high. So I'm going to regulate that or normalize the dopamine imbalance in the brain. Other signals are sent to the frontal lobe where decision-making happens. That's right, exactly. Long-term planning. Well, planning goes to activate the frontal lobe.
So here's him after.
After surgery.
We all know where that is.
Great, fantastic. Feel weird at all, or? No, not feeling weird, but I'm just not depressed, not anxious, not irritable. Nothing gets on my nerves. James says he felt an immediate difference. Somebody comes up with a blanket.
Okay, so that's kind of someone covers you up with a warm blanket. And so the data I'm going to show you. So this is the nucleus accumbens right here. Now you all can see it. I wasn't really showing too much exciting until I showed brains. And if you didn't see, this was the mouse and brain and how they overlap. So sorry about that. But now I'm going to show data from Helen Wang. She overlapped with me just like a tiny bit in Richie Davidson's laboratory. In her work, she did compassion training, like the same type of training that you guys are doing. They've just started, they had never done compassion training and mindfulness before. And this is a picture that can be disturbing. So I'll just warn you, if you're really distressed by like a child with burns, like if that would be triggering, maybe close your eyes or turn away. But they would see pictures of people with immense suffering. And the theory was, well, that just causes people distress and compassion gives you something to do. But the people who did compassion versus something else where they pretended that, oh, it's a Hollywood actress and they have, makeup on. Only those people who did the compassion training lit up pro-social networks in the brain. But what's most exciting is it's the exact 2 regions that we just saw in Ali Razai put the electrodes in, nucleus accumbens and prefrontal cortex. So by doing compassion meditation, you're actually hacking into your own brain's reward system in the same way that, you could stick electrodes in it and get a result, but that causes maybe some more problems. There are other ways to hack the reward system. I don't think I have time necessarily to get through all these, but Pavlov's dog, the first time he got a treat, he would have activated dopamine when he got the treat. But after time, he learned that the bell ringing was what, brought the treat. And the dopamine goes up when they hear the bell and when they're waiting for the treat. But then nothing special happens when they get the treat. Then, and this is something I teach with the graduate students, so I'm kind of simplifying it, but then what happens, okay, ring the bell, activation starts, and then all of a sudden they don't get the treat, and you get a stop in the dopamine firing, and that feels terrible. So if anytime you're expecting something and you don't get it, and you're like, oh no, or even if you're playing a sports game and you like, whatever you like expect and you don't get, you end up, feeling awful, or that kind of pit in your stomach feeling, or like, oh man, I feel resentful, I feel angry, I feel terrible. That is, what we want to avoid in life, right? And it causes us anger, it causes us frustration, it causes us clinginess. And so that's when you bind yourself to a joy, right? You're binding yourself to that reward. You can hack the reward system by trying to, wish for the best. I'm just going to move this over here. If you create that warm-hearted intention, then the act of compassion that you're doing is rewarding in and of itself. It activates those reward systems in the same way that the electrodes in the brain would. You could also pat yourself on the back, hey, I did a nice thing. That's great. Then you don't have someone who's going to disappoint you. You won't be disappointed. You can kiss joy as it flies, enjoy a flower and not expect it to be around the next day. And just wishing for others' own happiness and appreciating others' experience of joy activates the reward system in the same way, if not better, than you experiencing it. And why do I say if not better? Well, giving, studies have shown that actually giving helps mediate stress and activate the reward system better than receiving. And so when we're in a state even of wishing other people happiness, we actually are activating the brain regions that are involved in reward. And if we experience stress, we're reducing activation in the stress regions like the amygdala. And so I'm only one person, but if I think of all the billions of people in the world, I have billions of opportunities for happiness. The Dalai Lama actually said that at one of the Mind and Life conferences that I was at. He's like, how many people are in the world? 7 billion? Oh, I have 7 billion opportunities for happiness. So you can think of all other people, and then you're not so like fixated on something happening perfect to you. So I'm going to stop sharing. And we're going to get back into experiential stuff. So I can see myself now. So let's experience that happiness for ourselves by doing a quick joy meditation. I'm going to try to be really brief because we got started a little late due to some of the technical issues. So just like our joyful intention, like just counting to 10, sometimes, especially if you practice a lot, you can tap into it. Starting with just feeling your feet on the ground. Feeling your breath in your body. Unlike the loving kindness meditation, joy meditation is not so much about sending happiness to someone who isn't already feeling happiness. You want to choose someone who's already happy, someone who, maybe they worked hard and got a well-deserved reward, or maybe they're going on a vacation or had a wonderful life event. So choose a loved one where something good happened to them recently. Maybe even just a happy moment you shared. And imagine appreciating their joy and wishing for them to really continue with that joyful experience, to have more of them, and to be happy for them. Increase it as much as you can, imagining your loved one happy and deservedly happy. Next, feel your feet on the ground just to reconnecting with your body is really important during these exercises. And now start with everyone in this room. We've all come here today. I've seen some smiles on faces, people enjoying the joyful breath. And imagine appreciating the happiness of all of us, the joyful moments that we may have experienced. The joy you might have felt seeing someone you know or recognize, or just being in class or something that happened earlier today. Amplify that feeling if you can, that wish that everyone can experience joy, and spread to include everyone in the city, especially the people in the building, people in the neighborhood you might be in. People in the state, and then the whole nation, and finally world. Many people are doing wonderful things, charities, helping care for loved ones, small acts of kindness. Increase your appreciation of this and feel joy without thinking of anyone in particular. Finally, just resting in the feeling and then returning to the breath. Feeling your breath in your body, feeling your feet on the floor. Noticing if any residual emotions of joy, frustration, or anything appear. Everything is okay. Just notice and gently return to the breath. Thank you.
Change of plans. A little hard to cook today. Well, that was easy to imagine my 5-year-old granddaughter getting what she wants the most, which is a doll from the Encanto Disney movie, and seeing her face. And I just almost started to laugh because I know she's going to be so happy. So it's not hard to imagine somebody in our lives are feeling happiness. So today, we're going to continue.
Nicole, we really cannot hear you.
What is it? Do I have it? Can you hear me now?
Oh, lovely. Thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. So we talked last week about inner yoga, and inner yoga was about acceptance, and love, and or today's theme, joy of the body imperfect. So, and I explained last week what that was all about. So it means fully expressing yoga with the body that you have, because we're all different. And so I thought about putting together what are joyful yoga poses. Well, I think that pretty much any pose can be joyful. It depends on your intention. What is your intention as you practice? So, of course, there are poses where it opens the chest and the heart a lot and increases circulation, like back bends, that are easier to maybe feel a little bit more energized and maybe bring more joy. But I think it's pretty much all about intention, attention, and mindfulness, which is the master theme of this program. So when we're stressed, we tighten up, we compress, we're constricted, and the energy is not flowing freely. And so what yoga does, to come back to the poses that are helpful for joy, is to enable relaxation. When we relax and we feel loose and we're following the current of life instead of fighting it, then we experience more joy. There's just more joy to flow through us. And joy is something we already have inside. So all we have to do is access it and know that there's a well of joy inside of us. Okay. And so want to create space for joy to flow through. So that's going to be our theme as we get started with our yoga right now. So what we'll be doing is standing up and doing the breath of joy that we did seated. Now, those of you who have serious back pain or knee pain, do the seated one we did in the beginning. And if you don't have that problems, we'll be doing the standing one. And then we'll be doing two other practices. The other one will be a standing twist. And it's fairly easy. And I find that one also, like breath of joy, really quickly energizes you. And then the third one is going to be your challenge. It's going to be a pose in yoga called warrior number 3, which is being on one leg and doing a balancing pose. And the reason for that is that it's a challenge, and that in challenges, we seek support. So we're going to use a chair today as our support system. So we're going to and we can also learn to let go of support and kind of tuning in to that strength and that support and that joy within us. So, okay, breath of joy. Oh, sorry. If you could all come and get this. And being barefoot is a good plan. Everybody have a mat? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So the breath of joy is done in the same way, except so we bring the arms in front, inhale, keep inhaling, keep inhaling. So you bring the breath in 3 parts. So here's what happens when you release it. Everybody in? So when you release, it looks like this. You're going to open your legs apart, and please keep your knees bent. It's much easier, 1 on your hamstrings and 2 on your lower back. Okay, so look like this. I'm going to inhale through the nose all the time. Inhale, keep inhaling, keep inhaling. And then as I exhale, I bend my knees, hinge from the hips like I did the forward fold in a sun salute. And then from here, 2 things you can do. Either release the hands here, ha, or for some people, it may be easier to do it this way, where you release the arms like this behind you if you don't want to go all the way down to the floor. Yeah, exactly, perfect. So let's do that together. So have your feet parallel, the inside of your feet parallel to each other. So your feet aren't turned out, okay? And have them apart, especially for those of you that are going to choose the release in between the legs. Okay, I'm going to do the one behind for those of you who want to follow me with that. So relax, feel your feet on the floor, grounded, rooted. Good. Let the shoulders roll back, bring a smile on your face. We're accessing joy, right? So, and then inhale, 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 and then exhale. Ha. You can be as loud as you want. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Ha. Come back. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Ha. 2 more. Ha. Ha. 1 more, just for good measure. Ha. And now come back and right away, soften the knees, bring the arms down, lower the eyes, and just notice how you feel. I feel an increased circulation in my torso, in my arms, everything. And that was very quick. That was probably under 2 minutes, right? Yes, great. So with inner yoga, it is important to stop and assess what just happened. Because in our busy daily life, we complete one thing, we rush to the next, one thing next, and we keep having this little dance all day long. This allows us to just stop, notice how I feel. You can also practice your 5-point check here. How's my breath? How's my body? How's my mind, my emotions, my energy? Especially breath and energy. I feel the first and the last one are quite important if you only have a few seconds. Okay, so to just notice is after we do these dynamic movements that you want to rush to the next thing. And then kind of stop and just notice and be mindful in this moment and notice how you feel. That's how we make changes, by really noticing what's happening. Great. So now we're going to practice the standing twist. And that's another one that brings in energy when your energy is low. And it's really simple, so watch first. So I'm going to bring my feet apart, arms alongside the body. And then from here, what I'm going to do is twist from side to side, but I'm going to come up. Now I'm going to twist to the right. So I'm going to pivot on my left big toe. And the arms are like empty coat sleeves. So loosen them up to start with. Shake them. Great. So it's going to go like this. Then the other side. So I'm going to go like this from side to side. Now make sure you pivot, because if you don't pivot, it might bring some tension in your hips and your lower back. Good. So pivoting on your toe like this. Okay. Side to side. Good. Are you holding your breath? Haha, caught you. So one of the things that you can do if you want to coordinate breath and movement is inhale to center, exhale to the opposite side. Inhale center, exhale to the side. Inhale center, exhale. This is center. Yeah. Now, are you holding your shoulders up? Are you holding yourself? Loosen up again. Yeah, great, wonderful. Good. And then we're going to slowly come back. As we come back, again, let the knees be soft, arms, lower your eyes, just notice how you feel. Did this affect another part of your body? Twists are very good for digestion. You might have felt it, you know, around your stomach area. So just be still. Notice.
Feel like I want to dance, Nicole.
Okay. Well, one of the things that you can do with the standing twist also that's really fun is that as you do this, and you can start having fun with your arms and doing all kinds of dance-like movement with your arms. And that can really open your chest for deeper breathing, loosen up tension in your neck and shoulders because you're sitting too much in front of the computer. Yes. Yes, okay. So that's one way that you can turn this into a dance, and you can sing as you do it, okay? What's important is to be aware of this moment as you move and be aware of your breath. Thank you, great. And the next one is, again, this is the first time we teach the part 2, so I don't feel completely polished, so I might have to take a look at my notes and then come back. Okay, so the third one is about bringing in a challenge.
And I just rocked and I'm gonna get myself up.
Hi, Kim, we hear you. So the next pose is a challenge. So what you're going to be needing is your chair, and it probably is better if your chair is touching something in case this happens, because they're on wheels. So you can put it against the table, move your mat. So what you could do is, yeah, or like this. This way you won't be falling anywhere. So if you're concerned about falling, okay. So warrior 3 also is like the reason why I'm bringing in a challenge is that when in the face of challenge, we become really constricted and tight, and we have a hard time following with the flow of life. So we kind of like retreat. So this is sort of like you're in control here of this challenge. Okay, and this is going to be your support system in this challenge. So with this challenge, maybe we can actually enjoy a challenge, and also we can be relaxed in the face of a challenge. And I think this is one of the things that this pose teaches us. So I'm going to demo and then we'll do it together. So I'm going to start by placing my hands on the chair like this, and I'm going to walk back until my torso is parallel to the floor and my feet are directly underneath my hips. So you may want to watch a sequence first, okay? So we want to press through the crease of the hips behind you and I'm going to bring my body weight onto my left foot. Feel free to keep the knees bent with this, especially if your hamstrings are tight, okay? And from here, I'm going to reach back with my right leg right behind. Bring your toes to the floor and the heel behind you. And then if you want to participate in the challenge, you can bring your hand here. Or you can keep both hands here. And then eventually we'll practice this with both arms. And then coming back to center. So what I'd like for you to do is to observe how you feel while you're in this. Are you tightening in the face of challenge? Do you want to escape and say, I can't do this, I've never been good at that, or so on and so forth. So take your hands and place them on the edge of the chair. Walk back until your feet are directly underneath your hips, lengthening your spine tall. Now from lengthening your spine tall, roll that hip down towards the floor. So bring your right leg back behind you. And as you do, press your heel back, bring your toes down. You can try to bring the front aspect of your right hip down towards the floor. And if you're starting to laugh, that's good, because we're bringing joy in the challenge, right?
I feel like an ostrich.
Okay, and now bring your foot back down to the floor. So you may find also in these poses that you're almost falling, and that's why you have your support. Okay, and it's kind of like an analogy to your regular life when you're facing a lot of challenge and you look for support around you, of people, of friends, of family. Okay. Okay, take your time, breathe slowly in and out of your nose. Lengthen through the arms, so the arms are straight. Yes, straight. Take your time. Excellent. Breathe slowly in and out of your nose. And then slowly come back. Now, as you come back, keep both hands on the chair. Press the hips behind you. And in slow motion, lift your chest and your head. So you look between your hands. Take your right foot forward, take a step, and then left. And now just stand. Knees soft, arms alongside the body, and notice how you feel. Was there a judgment in the mind there while you were doing this? You know, the tapes that come back. I've never been good at balancing poses. So keep practicing and noticing how you feel, and that challenge can really bring joy. And that you can, because it's inside of you. So I think that's all. We did the other leg.
I didn't do the other leg.
Well, then for balance sake, go ahead and do the other leg. And then the rest of you can practice whichever leg.
Yeah, we got 1 minute left to class.
Oops. Okay. And now please come back to center and sit on your chair. And let's just do a 5-second check-in, 5 seconds. It's tough. You have to, yeah. Mhm. And I don't have the video posted for that yet, so I will get that together for you guys this week, okay?
I'd like to briefly just touch on the possible perfectionism we may feel, because we do as a human species of, am I getting it right? Am I doing it well enough? Is it good enough? And to let that go when you're here. Let it go. Let go of perfectionism, seriousness. There are no expectations and there are no goals with our practices. Believe it or not, there are no expectations and no goals. Just let that sink in, because life is usually expectations, goals. This isn't. This truly isn't. It's what Nicole was talking about earlier today. Be with your breath, be with your body. How's my energy? How are my emotions? How's my mind? Checking in with yourself. I share that with my clients at Chestnut Ridge all the time. Check in with yourself. Honor yourself. Where am I at? What am I feeling, thinking? What does my body need? What does my energy need? And what she did today was beautiful with the breath. And you feel a difference. We're cats in disguise. We need to stretch. So there's no such thing as a bad session, meditation session. It's just being mindful and curious and non-judgmental. Repeat that to yourself, non-judgmental and curious. Thank you, Julie.
Bring up the homework for I think it's going to be super fun. So I hope that you guys find that we're going to be posting each homework on Facebook, but there's the daily sequence and the breath of joy you can add to the middle of that, but also remember to be light when you do these joy practices. Kiss joy as it flies and try not to hold, but there'll be sight, sound, aromas, taste, touch. And if your senses are impaired, maybe swap one out or just imagine. So I just want to say the power of joy is really amazing. I actually had a severe migraine. I wanted to thank you for your tolerance. My brain's kind of off the day after, but in the middle of 2 hours of extreme pain, and then I sometimes have to vomit, sorry to say, but in between that, I was in the hall and on my way to the bathroom, and I saw my little 3-year-old's bedroom, and she had this super joyful moment because I put a new rug in her, a purple rug, her favorite color. Oh my gosh. And I looked down the hall and I saw that rug, and even on the way to I'm like, oh, and it's like the part, it's not that you should like try to like happy, joy, the bad moments of your life away or something, but it can be, you can still savor a joyful moment if it comes up. You don't have to feel like you have to be suffering all the time. So thanks
you.
also for your tolerance.
Thank you for joining us
thank
today.
you.
And there was a yoga breathing that we will do next week that, yeah. So
Okay,
have
thank
a
you.
great week, and please go
Yes.
on Facebook and post. We'll be
Yes,
posting some fun stuff, and there's
Yes.
already a lot of posts from
right,
last week.
right.
Warrior 3, there you go.
Yeah, I love it. And be gentle and kind with yourself. Please, throughout the day, say gentle and kindness. Remember the pats on the back and validate all emotions. Like Julie said, we're not living in this forced joy state. It's whatever shows up, acknowledge it. Thank you. Thank you.
Shard, I had, yeah, the left foot. One foot is usually harder than the others. I don't know why.
Julie, is there? There's a button.
There is an
No, balancing on my left foot was hard.